Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another beer review. It has been the most foul and rainy and horrible and grey day in the midst of a British summertime. Some would say go figure, it's British summertime, but I say I'm going to wear a jumper and I'm going to drink something strong and something heavy. So, Sierra Nevada's Bigfoot Barley Wine Style Ale. You've probably seen the Sierra Nevada Pale Ale review I did, raved about it. I absolutely love that beer, it's fantastic. Word of note as well, this is the 2013 vintage of this, so it's a relatively brand new bottle. It's going to have a lot more hop presence. These beers, these strong percentage beers they age very well and develop a lot more, a very different character. So this is a very new batch. It's going to taste a lot more hoppy and perhaps less malty. We'll see. Than other older vintages that have been aged for a while. Also, just a little, you can see on the cap as well, 2013. Oops, yeah, 2013 anyway. So you already know about Sierra Nevada. They're kind of like one of the first really big American craft brewers to take off, and barley wine style is exactly what it says. It's extremely strong. This one is 9.6%, so it's not the strongest barley wine I've seen. A very strong beer that's been using a lot of barley in it, and usually has a predominantly barley kind of style flavour. American ones tend to be slightly more hoppy, English ones tend to be absolute malt bombs, and European styles kind of vary really. When I say European, I mean it's mainly Scandinavian countries that seem to do it. So I'm going to use a nice big glass so we can get a good sniff on it. I'm going to pour it out. Let's see what we get. Oh, there's a lovely level of head coming on it actually, which is unusual for a beer as strong as it is. Oi, tons of it, tons of head. But that's nice. That's nice to see a beer that's quite lively despite its strength. You can probably see it's a lovely peachy colour. I'd say it's tan, but it almost looks like a skin of a soft peach. Is that nice fluffy head? That's pretty cool. I like that. And it's a nice deep ruby kind of colour, very dark copper, almost kind of reddish coloured. So it's not pitch black like a stout. You can tell that they used lighter roasts of malt in this one. So yeah, without further ado, let's get our nose in, give it a good old smell. Do you know what? It smells remarkably hoppy actually. I can smell a lot of pine and citrus in it. Rubbing my nose in it. I do this a lot when I get a beer with a big head on it. I tend to always rub my nose in it for some reason. I'm just going to say it gets me better aroma. But yeah, a distinct pine smell in it and distinct American hop smells. It really smells almost kind of IPA-esque. I'm having a hard time to discern much malt note. I can smell sweet malty flavours underneath it all, but it's mainly sort of, yeah, citrusy smell I'm getting. And that's unusual for a barley wine style. You usually get a massive chunk of caramel and toffee and all that sort of thing, but that is very much masked by the aroma of hops. Again, I said this is 2013 batch of it, so it's going to be quite hop heavy. I think it's going to be quite hop heavy. So yeah, that's a bit of a surprise. Without further ado, let's get on in there and give it a try. Cheers, guys. Oh, but when you get in there, the malt's coming through now. I wasn't there in the nose, but my god, is it there in the mouth. It is rich and deep in chocolate, like toffee and caramel and nutty flavours in absolute abundance. And a really astringent bitterness as well. It's you can tell it's really well hopped. The bitterness is very harsh on the tongue, but it is counterbalanced very well by the maltiness in the beer as well. I always find with these high strength beers that when you have a really deep malt body, you almost get this. I guess like it all centres, all those flavours kind of centre at the top of the back of my mouth, and I get like a real burst of flavour of biscuit and toffee and caramel and dark fruits all kind of explode at the back, like the top of the back of my mouth. So I know when something's had lots and lots of barley and it's very hyper strong and high percentage, I get that explosion at the back of my mouth, and this is giving me that in absolute abundance. There's a nice warming sensation as well in the belly. You can feel the alcohol in it, and it's definitely present in the palate as well. It's not overly harsh, but it's definitely, again, the alcoholic flavour is potent, and it is there in abundance too. It's almost like everything's really kind of in abundance with this beer. More so than anything, that in this particular batch, I'm getting bitterness through. It's wonderfully bitter, and it's continuing. It just unrelenting bitterness. It's still there now. It just feels as strong in the mouth as it did when I first took a sip. And then I get this lovely, deep, rich malt body, and then there's still, even with all this overpowering flavour, there still seems to be this nice, spicy hop note coming through as well. I'm missing a bit of the citrus that I smelt on the nose. That's not coming through in the flavour, but that's got to battle its way through. One heck of a strong flavour from the malt. It's almost kind of like tart treacle, and that's lovely. You know, treacle it's so rich and deep in flavour, and that, but just kind of like someone's put lemon rind in it. That's kind of the flavours I'm getting, and it's really nice, and I like it a lot. Comparing it to other beers in the style, I don't think it's as well accomplished. I've tried a few on beer reviews, and I've tried many in my lifetime, and it doesn't lift itself to the lofty heights of some of those other barley wines. In particular, it doesn't seem as absolutely malt-tastical as other barley wines I've had, and I absolutely love it when you get really full on, knock your socks off, malty beer. And this one has the potential to be, but they've kind of gone more down, oh, again, if I age it, maybe it'll change, maybe it will change. But as fresh as it is, the hop characters in, especially the bitterness and the harshness and astringence of the alcohol, seems to take it away a bit. I think in its current state, as it is, being quite a young beer, it's a nice and solid 8 out of 10. There's still some room for improvement to make it the best barley wine I've ever tried, and maybe aging would do that. And they've certainly done a bourbon whiskey barrel, bourbon aged version of this, and I reckon that'll be absolutely killer. They'll just have an extra little layer to it that would balance out even more of those flavours, or give something extra to the beer, and I reckon that'd be really nice, and certainly something I'll try and find in the future. This isn't too hard to get your hands off in good old England, good old Blighty. Try Beers of Europe, where I get most of my beers from, my ales by mail or beer merchants. So if you get your hands on some, give it a try and tell me what you think. I would love to hear people's opinions on it, especially if you've never tried something in a style before. This would be quite a nice one to get into before you start spending some real money on some very artisanal and very wacky and crafty barley wines. 8 out of 10. It's a nice, strong beer. Yeah, it's a really good beer for its style. Not the best, and by no means by no means is it the worst. Go and give it a shot. Sierra Nevada are a brilliant brewery as well. So, like, favourite, comment, subscribe to the video, and tell me what you think. And I shall see you again on the next Bear Beer Reviews. Cheers.